What's up, guys? It's me, Alan, and I'm back with another video today. And we have another NASCAR Diecast for you to do today. And let me tell you right now, when you think of throwbacks, you obviously think of Darlington, Throwback Weekend, Southern 500, etc. But there was at one point, we got a throwback that was ran not at Darlington, but at Charlotte for the All-Star Race. And this driver came back into NASCAR in 2018, hence, the diecast here for this car, and ran this paint scheme at the All-Star Race. Matt Kenseth in the number 6 Roush All-Star Throwback Ford for Roush Fenway Racing. Now, if you remember, Trevor Bahne started the season full-time, but then Matt Kenseth got brought in at one point during the season. They split time in the ride, and Trevor Bahne was let go afterwards and hasn't had a ride since until joining up with Nice Motorsports recently to run with one of their trucks, and it looks like he's going to be doing that for the rest of the season over Ty Majeski. As for Kenseth, of course, as we know, he did this after getting released from the 20 when Eric Jones came up. And, obviously got that huge win at Phoenix, and what we kind of thought was his last year. We didn't really think it was, because we thought, he would come back, but he kind of sort of retired and then, came back in this role, part-time role, and then didn't have a ride, and then, what happens, and he's in the 42. So we'll get to that in a little bit, but go ahead and get the diecast out of its box. On the review. Yeah, this is a diecast, though, that I have been wanting to get for quite a while, actually, and, I finally have it, thanks to Lionel, of course. So there's the diecast out of its box, and, yeah, again, you don't expect to see throwbacks ran at a non-throwback, at the, a non-throwback race. Well, granted, this year, it seems like that's what's been happening, because Brad Keselowski's chosen to run his throwback, or what was his throwback, essentially, for the rest of the year, because it looks so close to to his primary paint scheme. Chad Fincham brought the Skull Bandit throwback back for a regular race recently, and Brett Moffitt, the race after the throwback one, he ran his Jamie Johnson throwback in the Xfinity Series again the following race. So, yeah, we're seeing that a little bit. But, yeah, so there's the diecast, and go ahead with the review. So, obviously, we always check the windshield and, rear window. Go figure, the grill is a little bent, or not bent, but crooked, typical Lionel quality. But, yeah, so, I mean, when Matt Kenseth... Just a few years ago, when Matt Kenseth, I don't want to say he got booted out of the 20, but he kind of just got let go, and or it was announced that was going to happen, and then Eric Jones was going to come up, and and that happened, and it was like, wow. And then of course he goes on, he wins at Phoenix in the second to last race of the season, proving he can still win, obviously, and then the next year starts off without a ride, and then he gets brought in by Roush to go to run the 6 car part-time, moving Trevor Bahne into a part-time role, so they split the ride. And then basically after that, going into this season, again, doesn't have a ride, and then the pandemic happens. We have the shutdown, so we had the pandemic break, and during a streamed iRacing event, Kyle Larson drops the N-word, hard R, and he loses the ride, and Matt Kenseth gets called up, and he's in it the rest of the season, and he almost won Indianapolis this year, actually. Kevin Harvick won that, but Kenseth was catching him, and he had a shot. I think another couple laps he might have caught him, but it is what it is. It just feels weird that Kenseth hasn't had a full, the way he went out, yes, he got the win at Phoenix, but it just feels weird the way things ended for him. And obviously his later, he's had the incident with Logano at Martinsville, just a couple seasons prior, that whole debacle. But as far as I'm concerned, I feel like Kenseth should have another ride. I feel like if he wants to, he can, he'll come back. But for right now, I don't see him. I don't. It doesn't sound like he's gonna come back next year. And the crazy thing is about him going to the 42 is that Carl Edwards was asked about driving the 42, and apparently, there was some thought given into it, but he declined. And that feels weird because it's like, the way Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards have gone out, obviously Carl Edwards, made the championship 4, gets in that crash, Johnson gets his 7th championship, and then Edwards just retires out of nowhere, that offseason, and it's like, wow, this came out of nowhere, and so it's like, Daniel Suarez got put in the 19, and, I can't exactly blame, I'm not going to blame this on Edwards, but his retirement, which thus led to Suarez getting moved up to Cup in the 19, for a couple of years until Furniture Row shut down, and then, Truex Jr. got put in the 19. I feel like Suarez would be in a better position today if he didn't get moved up that quickly. Because again, he had won the Xfinity Series championship, but that doesn't always mean that you're going to be successful in the top level if you win championships in the lower levels. So to me, it feels like Suarez got rushed, but I'm not totally sure if Gibbs had a choice there. They needed somebody to fill the ride, so they went with what they thought was the best option, and things happen. But like I said, though, I'm really glad to have this, and if you don't have it, I suggest getting it. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.